political dynamics of the country always dictates how politicians behave, especially if you are a politician that you have a lot of responsibilities by way of your position. You always have to weigh the dynamics and dictates of the politics itself before you decide on what to do. But as far as Action Democratic Party is concerned, definitely we are going to be on the ticket 2023. There's no doubt about that. Well, the difference in the approach by ADP administration will be in a way and manner the economy is operated, because everything about a country lies on how the economy of that country functions. That is what dictates whether you have a peaceful country, you have a progressive country in terms of economy, that's in terms of the welfare of the people, whether you have a secure country in terms of security of life and property. And if you look at it, one thing that has been standing between us and greatness in this country is corruption. Corruption thrives where the leadership is weak. And in Nigeria, our experience has been that all the leaders we have had, especially since 1999 to date, yes, some of them have the passion to really give the country leadership that it deserves, but they lack the skills and the knowledge to be able to identify those experts that will assist them in achieving the greatness which this country is made of, is a promise of. What do I mean? A president is not expected to manage all the aspects of the economy. No. He is expected to identify experts, people that have track records, people that can deliver, people that you can trust, people that have passion. And what we have discovered is that we are lacking in that area, and that's why we're where we are today. So ADP will come up with a template that will afford anybody that can add value to what we are doing. You see, in the world, the oil and gas sector is not a Nigerian industry. It has what is called international best practice of operation. It's there. People who are working, both NNPC people, they go for training every year, every month, in some cases. They know what I'm talking about. There's an international best practice of operating oil and gas sector because it's not a Nigerian, industry. That industry has what is called meters that must be working. In our own situation, the meters are not working. So I will make sure that the meters work because it's not rocket science. I will make sure that if you are coming to buy Nigerian oil, you must refine a percentage, not less than 30% of what you are taking from this country. You must be refined locally. Find a way to repair our refineries. I will give you the 70%. You can go and refine it because you must be an expert in refining, isn't it? So other countries are doing it. There is what we call sour and sweet, policy. If you find your country in a situation where you must develop certain sector, like our refineries we are talking about, instead of gulping, stealing people's money, to spend on refineries that after some few years again they'll go comatose because they deliberately destroy them, so that the allocation that's supposed to be refined domestically 450,000 barrels per day will now be sold by the same officials of NMPC, and they will now go again and buy refined products, and then also, so they'll be burning the candle from the two ends. They're earning from the importation of crude oil, of refined products, and they're earning from the selling of the crude oil that's supposed to have been refined if your refineries were working domestically. All those things will stop. As a president, I'm not going to waste my time on chasing shadow, when you created the opportunity for them to steal. I would rather concentrate on making sure that I have a say in the industry that is operating on the basis of international best practice, so that stealing will completely disappear or be reduced to barely a minimum. And then the system will deal. They have enough people to deal with that, not the president. Yes, EFC, whatever, they can go and be chasing whoever they want to chase. But that's not my business. My business is to focus on ensuring that we move forward. So I will make sure I run, the economy in the manner it's supposed to be run. I will make sure my fiscal policy is active and is operational. The only reason why you find this confusion, in the economy, and we're not making any progress, is because you are standing the pyramid on its head, and it's going to crumble. You ask yourself, where is the Minister of Industries? Where is the Minister of Agriculture? Where is the Minister of Health? Why should somebody who should manage my monetary policy has left his code as if it's not important? So we are in a confused setting. That's the problem. And it's about leadership. I will get central bank back to its traditional functions, which is to ensure that the foreign exchange, the currency, is properly managed. I will make sure that I make enough money to invest in agriculture, infrastructure, health sector. It's all about how do you really move this economy? How do you fund the economy? That's what we're talking about. And it's not by borrowing. Not at all. Nobody says you shouldn't borrow at all. But I think the only time even as a businessman, the only time you go borrowing is when you know that you have exhausted all your internal sources of getting money. But here you are borrowing billions, and you are losing billions yourself. You are saying, oh, I've lost some $3.something billion here, and I'm borrowing another $3 billion from somebody to fund graft. Is that a sane country? No. Something's wrong with us. What brought about insecurity? Anger. People are angry. And when somebody is hungry, he's angry also. People you see taking arms against, our brothers, in the north and other places, is because they cannot find anything to do in the midst of plenty. They know, because they can see how these governors are stealing our money. They don't repair their roads. They don't build schools for them. They don't fund their health facilities. They take their children abroad to school. When they are sick, they fly the next flight, to the best hospitals you can find in this world. And the world, like is truly a global village now. So they can see all these things. They can hear about the billions that these government officials are stealing. And they can't even come near them. So this is why people are now saying, okay, let's take arms against these people. Since we elected them, and they have now become the worst enemies. Of course, nobody's happy about that. But you can easily see why what is happening to us in this country. You can easily see why unemployment is at almost 40%. I'm not even talking about underemployment yet. By the time you have underemployment, you are probably talking about 70% of Nigerians are employed. Can you imagine a situation where you have 7 out of 10 Nigerians not gainfully employed, and you want peace? Somebody who has gone through school, a graduate that maybe his parents have spent their hard-earned money that a job should be waiting for them by the time they are coming out. So all these things are self-inflicted problems that we have in this country that can correct it because the solutions are there. We have the resources, we have the manpower, we have whatever you need in terms of making this economy to function properly and serve the people. We have a young population, graduates all over the place. We have the size of the economy. We are number one on the continent of Africa in terms of GDP size, in terms of our population, in terms of what fabulously rich resources that God has given to us. All it requires is leadership to ensure that these things are turned to our advantage, not to becoming liabilities. So when you talk about high employment, you talk about what? Inflation is self-inflicted. And you as the individual can do your own zoning with your PVC. Do your own zoning. On the day of election, cast your votes for the zone you want to be the president. So don't disturb anybody. Don't make people to start killing themselves unnecessarily when it's not even necessary. What is necessary is political parties should go and bring out people, and those who are interested, like I said, in having the president from one part of the country should make sure they do the politicking, how people do it, so that a candidate emerge that will be from your zone. And when that happens, on the day of voting, you as the individual, do your own zoning. Vote according to your zone. Nobody will tell you not to. So we don't need all this distraction or overheating of the politics for other reasons. They are doing it, not for somebody who wants to be president, really. Because someone who wants to be president, that has been already settled. It's a clear process. Well, my advice to Nigerians is that it's not worth killing your brother. It's not worth it at all. Because you want somebody else to win or because you want to win yourself. It's not worth it. We must have peaceful elections, credible elections, and an election that will give us the leadership that this country deserves. And youth and women in particular must wake up and take their rightful place in the scheme of things. Because even when you look at the voting population, youth and women constitutes more than, I think, almost 80%. Youth and women, almost 80% of the voting population. So there's no reason why they cannot effect a change for the better, so that this country can begin to now achieve its mandate of greatness. Because this country is a promise of greatness. There's no other way to look at it. The only thing standing between us and that greatness is leadership. And that is in the hands of this group of people, who are the ones who are suffering more than any other group, because the future belongs to them in any case. The women suffer more. If they lose their husband, they are suffering. They lose their children, they are suffering. So this is why they must stand up and ensure that they vote for parties that have different programs. You can't be doing the same thing the same way and expect different results. So we must change our ways now so that we can have something that is Nigerian, something that really tallies with what nature has given to us. Nature has given us greatness. So much resources are in this country. Give a Nigerian chance outside this country. It's a number one, or a very good number two. So we can do it, but because we have a process that says you can only govern if you are elected. And who does the election? The people, isn't it? That's why you have democracy. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. So I think time has come for Nigerians to stop lamenting and vote ADP, because we are the credible alternative. Because we are the one that we don't suffer any fixation. We are not a kind of club, because it's like a cult, system that no matter what you do under those two platforms. Look at what has happened to Buhari, for instance, President Buhari. The man even wait to be given the opportunity to change this country for the better. But look at what's happening today. Simply because he came out under that of environment where you can't do anything, because it's already a fixed situation that you have there of corruption. With all the passion that the man came there with all the zeal, with everything, they just brought him down completely and made nonsense of what he came with. So that's why I'm asking Nigerians, you can't get a better person than Buhari if it's a matter of saying somebody who has, the sincerity of purpose and passion. But look at what has happened to him, because he found himself in a group, where they don't believe in what he was talking about. So that's why we must give Nigerians, new people, opportunity, new faces, opportunity, really change the fortune of this country, for the better.